guys should be able to see my screen, the 5-minute time frame. To be honest, this is a huge range, so I'm just gonna go into 15-minute to reduce the noise. So let's just see how it looks on the 15-minute. Let me delete everything on my chart. Alright. Yeah, I mean, we have this down dealing range, and now we are just trying to rebalance it. Most likely going to take these highs, right? But let's see. This is the up one, this is the up one. Right. So from looking at here, bro, can you record this? Yeah, I am recording it. Yesterday, for some reason, my file got corrupted, so I couldn't upload that on the public YouTube, but this one shouldn't. So let's see what's happening. We can see here we are trying to establish balance yesterday, and then we went back down, but then buyers obviously regained control, and where they regained control is very important, and I would want to draw out this level, right? So I would say it's roughly around here. This mine high volume node is pretty clean, to be honest. So I would use that as a good area of support just to know that this is how we initiated the move to the upside. Again, because you have multiple times where you've resisted, where we had this initial down phase, right? Showing that sellers are in control. And we did this by this minor high volume node again. So I would draw that out, and you can see we've had decent reactions going down. Again, we could do this when we come here to go lower. Here, I like this balance here, but I don't think we'll go down there just because of how much we moved. But we could just come back, which is what I'm thinking. We're going to, here we have this previous balance, and we're going to basically reject and come back down here. That could happen, but if we continue higher, we could just come back up here, which is my idea of balance, right? Let me draw out some other minor high volume nodes, like for example, this one right here. This one's pretty clean. Reason being is because it initiated that move to come back up, and then we rejected. We can see we rejected there. We used our support after. So I would say these are the three main areas I would say for support and resistance, pretty much. So I would say roughly we could do something like that, or something like that, and the main objective for the upside will be here. I'm pretty neutral, whatever happens happens, right? But I would say my main objective would be here. But if we do go down, however, then my main objective would be back here. I like downside objective more, but it depends on what price action does, of course, right? We'll have something like that, we'll have something like that, we'll have something like that, and we'll have something like that. If we go all the way down here, which I doubt we will, right? I mean, you can even see by this weekly delta, this is a weekly delta footprint imprint chart, right? You can see here we have a bunch of sellers that got trapped at these lows and exhausted when we went up. So you can see here buyers are piling in, covering themselves. That's why we had that very fast move of the on the expansion side higher, which is very interesting. And I'm going to put this right here. Okay, let me bring up Discord. If you guys got questions about it, let me know. But let's do this in the thesis channel. So we have this, yeah, this, and we are currently in a short gamma and note that short gamma environment, and let's see. Alright, so today is the 31st. Pre-market analysis, and after having a strong move lower, buyers failed to regain control of the auction multiple times. They tried to create value but failed. You can see here they tried to create value, but they ultimately failed, right? Pushing us lower. Creating a failed auction, so balance went back down, probably to some prior balance, right? Failed auction. This shows that buyers are interested in this area and they want to gain back control. So price traversed back to the extreme high of the previous established balance, and delta and the weekly delta shows that buyers really covered themselves as they spiked higher. The reason why my overall objective is lower is because there's a ton of balance on the yearly composite on the right, so that makes sense for us to become bearish. If price wants to fully rebalance the current dealing range of the upside sweep to regain control lower, to fully complete the auction, my overall goal is for price to push lower and find resistance like it did many times previously, many times before at the minor high volume node. As you can see, like I said here, they've had resistance many times at this minor high volume node. Again, we could have that once we get to that area. But other than that, we're currently in a state of pushing higher relative to where we had supports or sellers. Could however come back in, but no, we could easily fail because overall in a downtrend, overall in an uptrend with value shifting higher, that is why sellers can come back in and note we are in a short calm environment, meaning that we will have a strong move at open. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good thesis. Let's upload that. What do you guys think? Mental Q says positive gamma. Interesting. We are to be honest right in the middle. If you see my screen, we are right in the middle right here of the flip before we go into positive. So it's fine, I guess. We're just around this area. So market is still deciding. We're most likely going to be positive gamma then, most of the time like that. So yeah. Let me just check something. Okay, that's fine. Oh, you guys should be able to see that. Let me see if my recording can see that. They can. Okay. Let me know if you guys have questions. But overall, that is what I'm thinking so far. I'm gonna draw out my KG1 levels as well. I think it's open right now. Let's see if we can get a trade. Sellers come in. I want to see if they get exhausted. They did, but too late of an entry for me. Let's see. Let's see if we can break out and push back into it for maybe some sort of shorts. I mean longs when we go break out, retap into it. Sellers come in. Let's see if they're actually strong sellers. They're not bad in terms of aggression. I could take that. Okay, I got stopped out instantly. I got ticked out right there. Turn on historic trades. Let's see if we could get shorts again. If we don't, we break out, retest, I'll try to get longs. If we break out and retest. We broke out. Let's see if we retest this area. Buyers come in. Let's see if they're strong. If we retest that, then I'll enter. We're hitting VWAP, but it is okay. It is gamma long right now actually. So I might just trade KG3 to be honest, but let's just see how this level reacts. I would say we'd continue pushing higher here because passively sellers are being exhausted. You can see from the sell imbalance that they're being stopped out from these aggressive buyers. But I would want us to come a bit lower for my entry, maybe around here. But we could enter here though. Just want to see if it's a better reaction. At the moment, it's not, and we're coming to our higher time frame area of resistance. So let's see what happens there. We are at our higher time frame resistance area. We might be able to get shorts here. This is a high probability sell when price breaks down from the shelf. Yeah, could be. But higher time frame, I would say we're in an area where we could be bearish. You can see here buyers are being absorbed, sellers are in control at the moment. But it's not enough sell aggression for me to take shorts. So I need to wait a bit longer. We tapped into view up and rejected. Oh, that is ES. I don't trade ES. Again, buyers are being hit to the wall, but it's still not enough sellers. It looks like we're just going to continue higher. I just need to wait for a retrace if I want to enter one of these longs, if we do try to get longs. Sellers come in. They're refreshing pretty strongly, to be honest. But let's see what happens. If we go below it, we might continue lower. Let's just see. And then we can fade here. But if we don't, then we'll probably continue higher. Just what is currently happening. Again, sellers come in, buyers being absorbed. Sell aggression. Let's see if we can get these shorts. Again, let's see if we retest. I'll take these shorts. It's not bad, to be honest. I'll talk it back down into the range. Most likely around here. Let's see if I get stopped. Okay, I got stopped. Second trade, second loss. I might have just got checked out though. Could re-enter. Let's just wait and see. But at the moment, we're just going up again. To be honest, the refresh wasn't strong enough. This would be more like a B plus setup. But it wasn't bad though. I would say it's more like variance, to be honest. Let's just wait. If you come back down with a decent enough of refresh of selling participation in terms of pacing, and they get rewarded, I'll enter, even if it's a late entry. Again, buyers come in where they previously got absorbed, showing that sellers are in control. This would be the origin of the move setup right here if we go below this and retest it, which is what I'll wait for. Origin of the move, so right there. So let's see if we get that. Now when you go below, we retest it with a decent amount of sell aggression. I'm in. I can't drag my SL. Okay, it's right there. Target back down into the range. I'm going to trail my SL anyway, so this is my overall target though. I'll go break even. There's no longer for price to come back up. If it does, I'll just get ticked out. Can re-enter though. Let's see if I do. Alright, I'll enter on that. Target back down. If we fail to take out this low, then I'll trail aggressively. Again, break even. Might enter another one. Let's see. Because we are just holding. Okay, I'll enter on that. bit of a worse entry, but it's fine. Start a trail as we glide lower. We should go lower here. We kind of obviously defense from this buying imbalance, but I expect if we go lower here, we'll just sweep lower to our GP, most likely. We'll have that move lower. We continue to move lower. We need to move one more candle lower. Okay, we got that absorption. So you can see here where buys previously had control. Here it's a refill zone for probably buyers to have control again. That is why I'm in break even. But if we go below this, then in terms of macro mechanics, I can trail. Okay, I'll trail at this high because it's a projected high. Now we should just push lower. In terms of aggression, this is looking pretty good. I can trail much further now, most likely around here. Target even more because my higher time frame target is actually much lower. If you guys saw from my thesis, but right here is protected high, so I'll just leave it right there. Again, protected high, continue trailing. Here is where buyers are being exhausted. We push lower. If we push lower again below these wicks, then it's again a protected high in terms of micro mechanics. Let's see, I can probably target here. You can see here these buyers are again remaining in control, but they are soon to be exhausted once we come up here. This is the last line of defense for sellers to come back in. If they go above this, then we'll obviously traverse. But if we continue going lower, again, protected high, I can continue trailing. I can trail actually above here. Once we go below this with sell aggression, which just came in, which is a pretty good sign, we need high speed of tape to be accompanied by it. Let's see what happens here. Once we go below here and we sweep lower, it's a pretty good sign. I'll put my SL here because I want to target lower. There we go. And you take out that low and it becomes again a protected high. In terms of micro mechanics, we actually have to take out this low now. We're not taking it out necessarily. We have to close below it with enough aggression, which has happened. I can trail further because now it's a protected high around there roughly. Actually, I will do it here. And I'll target median view up. Okay, we have pretty decent aggression again to the downside. I can target more lower. Here's a protected high. If we test this go lower, then this becomes a protected high in terms of micro mechanics. So once we push below, I can target here. I can target lower. I want to see what happens at this view up. Yeah, we are not respecting that at all. They're being absorbed for sure. This becomes a protected high right here. I'll explain it in the lifetime masterclass, NZ. I talked about a bit 2 weeks ago in the masterclass for the lifetime users, lifetime members, I mean, about micro mechanics and how to trail, like how I am right now, and how it becomes a protected high. Like here is a protected high, but I wouldn't necessarily put my SL there, and stuff like that. I'll explain how. Where am I targeting? I'll target here. Actually, no, I'll target right there. Okay, I got out. I am up 1.6k. I took two losses and then we had this one win. To be honest, I entered 3 times here, but that's because I was like very unsure about taking this because of how high we went up. But yeah, let's see if we can take one more trade. I would want to take shorts again though. Buys are being absorbed. I mean, I want these buys to be absorbed. They are. Okay, I'm in. They're still there. Target lower. Once we take out this low, I can trail further. Let's see if we take out this low. If we don't and we fail to do so, I can slowly trail. I can trail here, to be honest. I'll once again target most likely around here, but higher time frame target. Let's see if we push lower here. We should have enough aggression now to push lower. If we don't, I'll get stopped. I can go break even now. Or not break even, like around there, I would say. In terms of micro mechanics, because we're covered now by sellers. Now aggression should glide us lower, most likely around here. Let's see if we push lower. We are continuing to push lower. I'll go break even. No, not that much of a chance for us to do anything here. I can protect high passively here, because we'll be protected if we come to this delta area. If this hits TP, I can already request payout even if this hits trail. So yeah, and I'll record me taking the payout like I did with my Apex accounts. Okay, there we go. I am done for the day. That is 2.3k across 6 accounts plus 1 alpha account. So you can see here I took these shorts and then I again took shorts here while trailing. GG's. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw. I'm pretty sure I put in the server as well in payouts here. Uh, like I recorded me requesting the 6k payout with Apex. Now I'll be able to record me taking 15k from Apex. Hopefully they don't deny me. But yeah, I'll share in the Discord as well. Let me disconnect my uh trade copier because I only want to trade my alpha eval that I've got. Let me disconnect. Give me a second, guys. Let me just change my connection feed. It's going to take like 5 minutes to connect to the eval one. How long did this payout take you to get? So it's a 15k payout with Apex, and it's a 3.5k payout with Alpha. One account with Alpha. That took me about 2 weeks and a half in terms of like consistency. But then before that 1 week, I had a payout with TPT that I recorded and I showed on my TikTok. This was a month ago, by the way, and that's when I wasn't trading these Apex accounts. Then I traded them again, and this entire live sessions that I've been doing, I've been recording me taking them. Let's see if we can take some eval trades, but most likely not, but let's just see. Did you guys see my screen? We should be able to. Let's see what the chat is saying, because I don't really want to look at trades, to be honest, right now. Did you risk heavy on your first trade to build a balance? No, I actually risked really less. In my first two trades, I did macros. I did 10 macros and I did half his convexity. I got out 1R, targeted 3, 4R, and I just did that for like 2, 3 trades. I won the first 3 trades. Pretty good variance, to be honest. And then that's when I started to scale in with 1 NQCon. But I am right now testing something with KG5 at the moment. So you know how we have only up to KG4. So Kanji Generation 4. We have Gen 5, which is going to be with a bit more options flow and a bit about, it's going to be way more in depth about micromechanics and how to trail, how to size in, things like that. But I'm not trading that at the moment just because I'm still collecting data on it and my research team is still collecting data on it. How do you size on TPT to get boss buffer? I, to be honest, just trade KG3 on TPT just because of the equity-based drawdown where it follows you until you reach a threshold. So I only, up to that threshold, I only trade very scalpy trades like 1 to 3s, 1 to 2s. So yeah, then that's when I can increase the buffer. But yeah, that's why you need to, you're probably a higher RR trader, that's why. I also do the same trade but with KG1. Yeah, that's clean. I mean, you can even see here, all of these buyers are failing. They're refilling again, the refill concept with selling pressure coming in with aggressiveness. You can see here a buyer. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see on my screen. Faintly, there's a buyer here that is being absorbed with sell aggression. But yeah, that's a good trade. What's your opinion on risking heavy, really heavy? I tend to often prefer to be a high ROI output just for the initial trade. Yeah, that's true. But also, imagine you win the first trade at normal risk, and then you take that winnings plus like $100. Like for example, let's say you win $200 right in your first trade. You risk 200 plus another 100, so you're going to be risking 300 on your second trade. So now if you lose that second trade, overall you're only going to be negative 100, right? But if you do win that second trade, you'll be up, let's say if you target 1 to 2, that'll be 600. Plus the 200 that you won, that's 600, 700. You'll be up 800 overall within 2 trades. So if you think about in terms of asymmetric compounding, which is a known risk model, it's pretty smarter way of doing it instead because of how prop firms, like the actual environment is catered towards, because they're more of like a call option. You could look at it like that. Check the same one, went back in with KG1. Yeah, clean. If I view up and rejected, the refund is passed. Nice. Oh yeah. I'll teach this weekend, most likely on Sunday. I'm pretty sure I did it on my weekly schedule. Let me see. No, I didn't. Did I? No. Oh wait, yeah. Friday. Oh, today's Friday. I mean, I could do this, to be honest. I'll probably do that on Sunday instead, because I don't know if I'll have time to do. Yeah, most likely I'm not gonna have time to do. But yeah, I'll do the masterclass on Sunday. We are dumping though. But yeah, we just instantly rejected. Very clean rejections from that mine high volume node, like I said, that we would reject from where I wanted shorts. How's my screen going black again? Or I don't know why this HDMI is so loose to my PC. Okay, let me fix this. Give me a sec. Alright, yeah, it's fixed. Where's my thesis? You can see here, wanted shorts, wanted this to be my main objective. I even said I really do want us to have shorts, but I don't think we will, right? Because of how much we went up. But we rebalanced the auction anyways, right? And we are rejecting. And if I were to show you higher time frame right here, you should be able to see my screen. We are literally just rejecting. So yeah, and I obviously I'm pretty sure I tried to take longs here. I failed. Price did go higher though. Did get ticked out. I mean, no, I tried to get shorts, yeah. And I got ticked out. But then when we went here, I tried to enter shorts about twice. I got break even. Entered for the third time in terms of KG3, right? And because KG3 is like a reversal scalps, but I just kept on trailing with micromechanics. So yeah, and I just kept on trailing and we went all the way down. Our main objective is right here, which we'll most likely hit probably by PM. I don't think we'll hit this by AM unless we have really good volatility for that. But I'm not the type of guy who would hold trades until all the way then, because first of all, your prop firm probably won't allow it, and second of all, it's extremely unrealistic because these type of days, if we do go down to our main objective, it's like a maybe once or twice a month that would happen. But yeah, pretty good day, 3 point something K across 6 accounts. And I recorded this as well, and hopefully the file doesn't get corrupted. So I'll edit it up and post it as well on the wall. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I mean, again, you can see we're hitting negative 2.03 standard deviation view up. All of these sellers are just being exhausted. And you can see here, it's buyers covering themselves here at these lows, and these buyers are gaining control. And you can see passive buyers in terms of imbalance willing to price higher. And then we have to squeeze higher with higher refresh. Once we go above these highs, which we have, we just need an aggressive buyer now. And this will be known as a squeeze, where we just move very fast up. Most likely, probably back up to here, where we'll reject again or have a little pullback. Let's see, we have that little pullback, as you can see. And now we come back into the squeeze, pullback, and now we'll probably push lower. Squeeze failed. This is a failure squeeze because no aggressive buyer came in. So it wasn't considered a squeeze until we have that aggressive buyer. And I said we could have a pullback here, which we did. And now we have aggressive sellers willing to price lower, and we'll probably price lower, to be honest. Yeah. Did you take anything good? If I turn on historical trades as well, you can see here the first trade that I took at open was these shorts and I got stopped out. That's fine, right? Because I thought we'd go lower because of this KG1 level. To be honest, it wasn't that strong anyways. It was like a B plus up. Then here I tried to take shorts again. I got checked out. We went lower. I tried to enter shorts here. I got break even. I enter shorts again. I got break even. Here I'm pretty sure I got break even twice here. Then I entered here shorts and we went all the way down for about how much RR would that be, guys? Let's see. I trailed all the way till 6.4R. Then I entered shorts again right here. Um, my screen just went black, bro. I need to fix this HDMI. Okay. My SL was up probably here, and I targeted there another 3R, just trailing. Could have taken out more, right? But I didn't expect we were going to have that big of a rejection lower. Like, look how much sellers are in. Probably going to break lower again. I actually might enter on these shorts, but I'll need to go my eval. But yeah, so these are two decent trades I took. Yeah, I took two shorts, both won. Nice. What was it based off of? Was it your own thing or was it based off any of the models I gave you? So lifetime student. Again, buyers absorbed. We're gonna push lower. Instant rejection. We push lower. We're going to use this as a cascade to push lower. Like here. So once we go below this, you'd go break even. So let's say you did enter on these shorts here with your stop here. You would have won break even right now, to be honest, because we're failing to push higher. And now we push higher. But then you could re-enter again. If you have decent pressure. We don't have that much decent pressure, to be honest. We still have to wait a bit. See if we can retest it. That's not strong enough. Macro mix. Okay, that's good. We are at a gamma wall, so we could just go long from here. To be honest, in terms of AMT, we'll probably just continue lower. But I don't know about options flow, to be honest. But I think we'll go lower still. But we could go higher, I don't know. I'm done for the day. I'm looking getting better. Like I'm taking way better trades. That's good. If I actually unshare my screen for a second, show you the stats of today. You're going to see how small the losers are that are compared to the winners. Let me open it up. The only reason why I'm not sharing my screen is because it's going to show my account number. So yeah. Let's do today's date and end date and generate report and do trade by trade analysis. Actually, you know what? We'll do yesterday's day as well. So you can see that as well because we live traded yesterday. So you can see all the trades from today and yesterday. And you're going to see the distribution. Let me just blur out the account number. Let me share my screen. Oh, we are rejecting, like he said, actually. I forgot my word, whatever he said. Alright. Actually, let me paste it in first so I can see if there's no. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. This is from yesterday's trades to today's trades. You can see I took 1, 2, break even. So 2 losses, 2 break evens, 2 wins. These are how big the wins are compared to the losses. Look how small the losses are. They're all contained. And then the winners, I'll obviously let it ride. We set out a lot of equity there, to be honest. Because this blue line shows how much it would have went up to, like in terms of equity based. But then here's when I got out. Right here is what I capitalized off of it. Here's where I capitalized based off of it. There and there. Yeah. So not bad, to be honest. Someone would look at this and say it's too good to be true. That is true, but guess what? I am live trading right in front of you guys and recording it also, so can't call me a lot if I'm literally trading right in front of you. Thoughts on Ken Griffin Chad move yesterday? I don't know what you mean by that. Are you talking about what do you mean? Oh, Saturday guy. Yeah, I have no idea what happened yesterday about him. I don't really look at news like that, to be honest. I do want to go more into macros, but I haven't seen a profitable macro trader that I know personally that I can talk to, so there's no reason for me to learn from anyone at the moment. Let me delete this random stuff. Delete this, delete this. Alright, that's fine. Damn, I just find it quite interesting. You did the video with Stoic. Yeah, he's a good macro trader. I just don't know if he's truly profitable. I want to see someone who like actually has full transparency and can show me his stats fully on share screen. I haven't found anyone who is a macro trader that has done that. I mean, I've seen two, but they're both swing traders, and they're from my research team as well. And they don't really trade that much. They're more like long-term investments, to be honest. All of these sellers are being refilled to the upside once we go above these buyers. But at the moment, we're not going above it just yet. We have to wait until the questions on our side if you want to enter on this. But yeah, I mean, I would say so though. Macros are much smarter way of trading. Again, we went above it and now we're just pushing higher and we'll continue to push higher at least up to this high most likely if it's a good aggression. So let's just see. But no, macros are definitely much better than Orderflow. I would say it gives you much more of a better way in terms of qualitative analysis just to know who's in control. Okay, we failed, I guess. Push higher. He would have won break even anyways because we were failing here. Mm, 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 mm. What do you think, Cyrus? Let me see your trades. That is such a late entry. I don't know why you would enter there. And you're entering when sellers are currently being absorbed. You can see here sellers were being absorbed. They're refilling it to these sellers being absorbed, and you're just entering on shorts on that. That makes no sense, to be honest. You should have entered, if you wanted to enter shorts, you should have entered right here once you saw buyers are gaining aggression, and you could have put your stop loss above these buyers that are being exhausted slash absorbed, right? So yeah, it makes sense if you would lose this trade, to be honest. Because it's like a very pre-fire entry, and I wouldn't enter on pre-fire entries. Like you've seen me enter on pre-fire entries. Like the first trade that I took today was a pre-fire entry just so I could get buffer on the session, and it failed, right? So a lot of the time, pre-fire entries just fail you. Again, you're entering again on a pre-fire entry like this one, where they're all being absorbed, and you're thinking, okay, these buyers are being absorbed, but so are these sellers. So you need to wait until one side closes down, and also you're fighting against, I'm guessing VWAP right here. So that is another bad sign. So I would, and I said this to you before as well. You're entering either too early or too late. You need to enter at a good time. Let's see this. Again, sellers are uncontrolled, sure, but they could also being absorbed. There's no buying opposition here to show you that they're being weaker, unless you're seeing that on the DOM, right? On this screenshot, I'm not seeing that, so it makes sense why I got stopped there again. And I already explained that. So yeah, because when you see this recording, when I upload it, you'll see me entering, and you'll see me entering when there's actual conviction and when there's actual strength behind my trades. Like here, like for you, to me, it looks like you'd enter on this trade. Okay, it might work out. You're fighting against VWAP. These sellers are being definitely absorbed. You can see the sell cluster is not enough anyways for us to pile in. But aggression's with us, but you just need tape to be faster. Tape is faster, but then again they're getting hit to the wall again. So you need to wait for like actual confirmation. There's no actual confirmation for these sells at the moment. Now there is if these buyers are being absorbed. If these buyers get absorbed and we close below these sellers, that shows aggression. At the moment, that is not happening, and it looks like these sellers actually got absorbed, and these buyers are in control now. And if we push above this and continue to stay above it, we'll continue back up, and at least back up here from this aggression. and that is currently what we're doing, right? So that is why I would never enter, for example, prematurely here or prematurely here because of this, right? You need to see the actual opposition, and you want to see in terms of who's defending themselves intraday. So you can see here buyers are piling in here, and where are pilots piling in, like in this example where they went up, because here sellers got trapped and they got absorbed. So it looks like buyers are protecting themselves here. So then when we went up and we retested it, again buyers passively came in, but then we went back up and obviously we tested an area where there was a bunch of sellers right here. You can see by this wick we tested it. I talked about this, by the way, in my recent YouTube video, I'm pretty sure, or the video before that. It was about how to stop re-entering and how to filter your trades. So again, right here, and we tested it and we went lower. So you can see again, sellers are defending themselves, they're covering themselves. Again here, sellers are covering themselves here, and now we're pushing lower. This is not enough to tell me anything because of how thin we are here. You want to see like actual areas of like big delta piling in. But that's pretty much it. Like again, you can see while we're moving down, buyers are trying to fight back. But who's here in control? Obviously sellers, right? And you can see even here where refill is increasing a bunch. Again, they could be hit to the wall, right? But let's see if buyers pile in when they get hit to the wall. This is a lot of sell aggression. They are being hit to the wall. They are being hit to the wall. Now we'd most likely go back up. But the only reason we'll go back up is if a aggression buy comes in. If we don't get that, then it makes no sense to enter longs here. Again, it's premature because there's no aggression of buyers. Do you get what I mean? It's like having defend stops have helped me the most, and it makes me reconsider exactly why I am entering a trade. Yeah, because like again, he would have entered, for example, here because he saw sellers being absorbed and they were just like fighting back and forth, back and forth. So it looks like sellers are losing, but again, we just went all the way back down. And how does that show you that sellers are losing? There is no opposition to show you that the other opposition took control, right? One side can lose, but they can just lose prematurely before they just come back in and cover themselves, which is where they're being protected by this delta, right? You want to follow the delta because like, that is showing you who's actually in control, because that is the bid minus the ask, right? And we're coming back to this KG1 level. In terms of AMT perspective, we'll probably come to this KG1 level and reject and fully rebalance the range at least up to here if we come back to KG1. But yeah, that is why I started to implement what's it called again? Weekly delta print on my higher time frame. But if you see here, look, I'm seeing this as well in terms of the higher time frame. What's happening in this area where I'm saying we'll get support from this minor high volume node? Again, buyers are in control, buyers are in control, sellers are trying to cover themselves, they fail, buyers are in control. You can just see that from the narrative of opposition from this delta. Here you can see sellers come in, they pike in, and you can see we diminish very low volume in terms of delta, right? They're definitely buying back and forth, back and forth. That is why I was like kind of nervous about taking these shorts right here. That's why I constantly went break even very fast. But that is what you're supposed to be doing. When you're looking at trades like this, you need to consider it as a filter. Let's see this trade done. It took a base hit. My screen went black. Let me wait for it to come back. Okay. Um, again, look, this is a really good trade because look, bunch of buyers obviously are in control. He's actually smart that he didn't enter anywhere above here, right? If he tried to enter, for example, shorts above here, then obviously these buyers can refill and regain control to push back up, right? So he actually thought about it and entered below here where he's thinking that all of this buying aggression is being stopped and hit to the wall, exhausted, I don't know, absorbed, whatever you want to call it, right? And you can see here sellers gain control, and I don't know if he drew that on purpose, but I don't know what this box is for, but let's just say he did, where these sellers gain control, and now these buyers are being absorbed slash exhausted. I mean, they're technically being trapped, to be honest, because of how much buys that we had here. So they're just being refilled into being trapped. Again, here, buyers who had control into sellers who have control. And he entered right there. I don't know if that's a bubble. If that is a bubble, that means these buyers are not being rewarded and you enter on that. I don't know if that's a bubble, to be honest. But yeah, it would make sense to enter there. But Yeah, and then you obviously took TP at looking at a level or just where buyers had control and where sellers could be absorbed here. So yeah, it wasn't bad. No, it's not a bubble. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's this projection tool, right, for your shorts. Because it wouldn't make sense to enter shorts here if this white bubble came. I would have, to be honest, entered here. But if this isn't a bubble, then still a good entry. Only a couple of ticks, right? Doesn't matter. But yeah, that's a good trade. Well, we are reacting off these KG1 levels for shorts. Though we'd react to come back up, but it looks like it didn't get confirmed by Orderflow, right? We might be able, what is this? Oh, we are at deviation 3. This is actually a very volatile day. We might just like actually just push back up here once we hit -3. It's actually really interesting. I mean, you can see it, -3 is starting to curve, and we might hit it and push back up. Because remember, we're not trading patterns, right? Like a lot of, especially if you come from ICT, where you're just trading candlestick patterns, trend lines, things like that. You think that you don't have to understand the meaning of the participation that you're trading at. You think that you just trade, you just learn how to, I don't know, draw a box. You learn how to draw out a fair value gap, but you don't know the meaning behind it. You just know that it's an area of support and resistance, dynamic SNR. That's what a lot of order flow traders do. They think that, oh, I see absorption here. Do you actually know the meaning of absorption? Do you actually understand in terms of context what's happening here? Should we actually go lower here? Are sellers actually in control? Because what is absorption? Absorption is where an aggressive player comes in and they're being stopped passively, right? That is the definition. Here you can see an aggressive order is coming in of buyers, but is sellers being passively in control? Well, at this moment they weren't, but now they are because this imbalance is showing um passive sell orders, right? And we come here and then we shoot back down. Do you see? Just because if you didn't understand the meaning of absorption, you wouldn't be able to, you shouldn't enter on this trade, right? Because then you're just trading patterns at that point, and that is what a lot of traders do. They don't actually understand what they're trading. Made 200 and trailed convexity, but kept on running. You only made 200. Trailing convexity, I don't know why you would have got out there, but not bad though. I need to go more in depth about trailing convexity, to be honest, because it aligns a lot with micromechanics. I'll do that in the lifetime masterclass. I'll probably do it this Sunday. I won't be able to do it today, like I said on the weekly schedule, because I want to make the journal a bit better, and also I'm planning another YouTube video about VPs. So yeah, I mean in terms of higher time frame AMT, this is where we will reject and push back up. That is what I'm thinking.